Discovery.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Welcome to the Podcast Discovery Show, the podcast that's about other podcasts, where every single week we have a book club style discussion about a podcast. And at the end of this episode, we're going to have a brand new recommendation, and we'll talk about that one next week. I'm Kirk.
I am Zach, and this week we are joined by a very special guest, Keith from PopUpFilmCast. Thanks so much for coming on and talking with us, man.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome, Keith.
Long time no record.
Yeah, it's definitely been too long. Keith has had several appearances, and we've had legendary appearances. I say that bragging about ourselves on his show as well.
We just did our 200th episode of PopUpFilmCast, and
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Thank you. We each picked an episode from each season that was our favorites overall, and the Stinkwater Trilogy was my overall favorite of season 2.
Amazing. No, that was one of the most fun.
So now we're an award-winning duo, Zach.
Yeah. Well, I think I will put that on my resume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys, that episode is in my top 3 probably overall.
It is one of the most fun recordings I've ever done. And we've recorded a lot of episodes, and that was really fun.
Yeah, and we've tried to do it a couple more times, and nothing against those episodes, they've been good, but that was lightning in a bottle as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, that's what happens when you get Nick Cage and Tyler Perry together. It's lightning in a bottle.
I do remember just talking to Kirk about the nugget of this idea, and we just started giggling, and I was like, we're onto something here.
It was magical. It was magical as we storyboarded that baby. Well, guys, I want to tell you something. I feel amazing. And the reason I feel amazing is because I took a cold shower and I did the Wim Hof Method today. Because
did you really
makes you
just
feel
take a
so
cold shower?
good. Do what?
Did you really just take a cold shower?
I did really just take a cold shower.
He's doing a bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, but I did do it though. I did the No Ross and Carrie thing, which is the show we're talking about this week, guys. We're talking about No Ross and Carrie. What was the name of the episode? Cooling Off with Wim Hof or something like that?
Cool Off with Wim Hof, Part 3, the Icebath Edition.
Yeah, so Kirk, did you take a cold shower or did you take an ice bath?
No, so the Wim Hof method, because it's for regular people too, is you take a 30-second cold shower at the end of your regular shower. And you got to do the breathing thing too. But so, yeah, I didn't do an ice bath. No, I don't have pounds and pounds of ice to just throw in my bathtub. He just has
his kids throw ice cubes at him while he's taking a shower.
We used to prank each other back in the day where, someone would be taking a shower and we'd break in the shower, the bathroom, and pour cold water over their heads and make them get really cold.
I'm pretty sure I just looked this up. This used to be called the James Bond shower. This was what James Bond in the books did. He would start out warm and then you get it really cold at the end. So Wim Hof, stealing from James Bond. You heard it here.
Now, I don't know if I knew offhand that was the Wim Hof method overall of taking a shower, but I have tried that before myself.
It actually is very refreshing because for the longest time, I loved hot showers, but I would get done with my shower and get out and then immediately start sweating because I just took a hot shower.
Yeah. Welcome to Florida.
Mm-hmm. So now I take my hot shower and then I take my cold, 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And it's really nice. So we're talking about the episode of No Ross and Carrie that they talk about Wim Hof, the Wim Hof method. And the thing that I do like about No Ross and Carrie is that they don't just talk about a fringe thing or some religion or cult or anything like that. They do it. They become part of it. They become members or they do the thing. And so when they were talking about the Wim Hof method, they went to it was like a one-day retreat where you go with a bunch of people. They train you how to do the method correctly. And then at the end, you take an ice bath for 90 seconds or something like that, which the cold shower is hard enough. I will admit, it's shocking. I can't imagine what it's got to be like to get in an ice bath.
It always reminds me, I feel like we went whitewater rafting as, I guess, teenagers. And if you hit that water, it would almost knock the breath out of you. It was so cold. And that's what it makes me think of. But it was invigorating. I will say that about it.
I think you guys covered that Zac Efron show one time.
We did.
On Netflix. And I think there's an episode on there where him and the guy, they go in and they do like, you're in a hot tub and then you go in like a cryo freeze chamber.
What do they call it? They call it like the Viking something. They called it something. There was a name for it, but they go in a hot tub and then they go in an ice bath essentially.
Now they didn't do any breathing, but it sounds like another one of those very similar style techniques of, for reducing inflammation and things like that.
Yeah. So, Zach, do you have any information on who Wim Hof is? For those people that are listening, they're like, who the freak is this Wim Hof guy? What is this method? Is it a person? Is it is it a procedure?
Everything.
What is it? Is it a sickness? What is Wim Hof?
And I mean, first of all, can we start with the fact that his nickname is the Iceman, which is top 10 nicknames to just have for yourself, especially because he literally just like gets in ice and he got that nickname, that's awesome. But he's a Dutch motivational speaker and extreme athlete that is noted for his ability to withstand freezing temperatures. He has tons of Guinness World Records, such as farthest to swim under ice, 188 feet. And they talk about it a little bit in this episode, but when they were practicing for this and they were doing it for Dutch TV program, his corneas started to freeze when he was underwater and he was essentially blind. And it says a diver rescued him as he was starting to lose consciousness. That record has been beaten by someone named Stig Severinsen in 2013. He is also the record holder, Wim Hof is, for fastest half marathon barefoot on ice and snow, which is ridiculous.
How many people are on that list? There's Wim Hof
and Wim Hof. He's the only one who did that. He's the only one who's like, I don't need shoes for this. That's ridiculous.
It's a horrible time, but he did it, and nobody else has ever bothered to challenge it. That's
correct.
I think he climbed up mostly up Mount Everest barefoot. Like he's done.
Yes,
crazy
he did.
Stuff.
That's no jumping ahead, no spoilies. No, he did.
Okay.
In 2007, he climbed to an altitude of 7,200 meters. That's 23,000 feet on Mount Everest, wearing nothing but shorts and shoes. And he basically aborted the attempt due to recurring foot injury. He has set the world record.
Foot injury, he almost lost a toe.
Yeah, that checks with me, because if you try and climb Mount Everest, it kills people normally that are wearing gear and have oxygen tanks barefoot, then you might have trouble. But he also has set the world record 16 times for full body contact with ice, which is, here's the Iceman. So it's all about an hour and 45 minutes, right around 2 hours is basically it. And so he did get beaten a couple times, but there's 1 hour and 53, and then someone from Austria with 2 hours and 8 minutes. So he basically has a ton of these things. But honestly, the thing I remember is he started kind of hitting it with podcasters. Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan. What's the other guy's name? I can't remember, but he kind of hit all those. I don't know of a better way to describe it than like self-help. Not that that's meant to be like derogatory, but
it's
that group.
Yeah, I don't know how you exactly qualify it, but like, yeah, I know I can fully understand how Joe Rogan would be down with this.
Joe Rogan is super down with this, as well as Tim Ferriss, who actually has given a chapter to Wim Hof in Tools of Titans as well. But now this man has a whole following. He has a whole thing, and everybody firmly believes in the Wim Hof method, including Captain Kirk over here has been practicing the Wim Hof method.
All right. So when I recommended this, I was reading through the book called The Wim Hof Method, written by him. And, it goes into extreme detail about the method and, his past. And I mean, he's got a crazy story. Like, he's got this whole story about he was born twin, but his mom didn't know that she had twins. And so he almost died at the beginning. And then she's like, when they found out, oh, there's another baby in there, she like prayed and she's like, if this baby's born healthy, then I'll make him a missionary. And now he's like, and now I'm the missionary of ice.
Missionary of ice.
Now, Kirk, did you start reading the book because you had heard, because I know this is like a 3-part that they that they
No, actually, it was the opposite. I was like, you know what? I want to talk about an No Ross and Carrie episode. Now let me find one that I can connect with. And I just so happened to find a Wim Hof episode while I was reading the book and practicing the method. I did not practice it very well. I will admit that, because you're supposed to wake up in the morning, do the breathing stuff, take a cold shower, do something in the middle of the day, and then like do some yoga stuff in the afternoon, and then take a cold shower at night. It was a lot. I did some of it. So, and I will say it, I'm not saying it's revolutionary, because it's not. In that book, by the way, makes it seem like it can cure anything.
This is one of the things people give him a little heat for, because he does the range of things that he's the things that he says that this helps cure / treat is extensive. There's a lot of things, and you're like, how exactly is it doing this? But I would say for the most part, none of those things have been backed up. They actually, on the Wikipedia article, it says, so this is definitely, critics say he overstates it. And on his website, he says that it reduced symptoms of several diseases, including rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, and Parkinson's disease. And then it also says, and has a little footnote, however, these claims have not been demonstrated scientifically.
Yeah, he likes to say a lot of it is backed up by science, because they have done a lot of experiments on him. They really have. Like, there have been some really well documented experiments they've done with him, and he's shown some really interesting things using either the breathing treatment or, which, by the way, and they mention this in the episode "Oh No Ross and Carrie," is his breathing technique that is part of the method has nothing to do with getting in the ice. He tells you to breathe differently when you get in the ice. It's kind of weird. And also basically like, don't ever do the breathing technique before you get in water, but also this is an ice bath thing. There's a lot of like hand wavy, don't actually do these things because you might die or sue us.
Yeah.
But like, don't do it when you're driving. Don't do
in
it.
2015 and 2016, 4 people died of drowning. So I'm guessing they were either doing an ice bath or they were trying to extend their breath in the water, and they blacked out in the water and they drowned.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty serious. Yeah. Death is serious. Yes.
But they were probably like, I'm assuming they were doing it by themselves.
Yes.
Not with a trained, Wim Hof instructor and stuff with them.
Correct. They would hopefully pull you out of the water.
Yeah. And so in the episode that you guys recommended, so there, I don't know, it's like a 80-minute long episode or whatever. They do seem to take quite a bit of time to get up to where they play some audio of them actually getting into the ice bath.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's in a Walmart parking lot or something like that.
I think
it's next to a truck.
Yeah. They were at a CrossFit place. Okay. And it was just in the parking lot.
To me, that checks as well. Place. I bet the Venn diagram of CrossFit and Wim Hof is pretty. I bet there's a solid section in the middle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say CrossFit parking lot and Walmart parking lot.
That would be funnier.
And also Wim Hof probably all come together. Well, CrossFit probably is in nicer places than that. It was like a Crunch Fitness or one of those other Gold's Gym or something. I would probably be more on point with my Walmart reference, but they're probably more like Whole Foods or something.
A Whole Foods. So is this technique supposed to make it so you're better able to withstand the ice, or is the ice part of it?
The ice is part of it. So from what I understand, and I read the book and listened to this and looked into it a lot. He has an app. The app is really nice. They try to make you pay for everything, even like
sounds about right.
Breath counter, which by the way, I got around that baby because I recorded it on my phone.
Oh, I thought you meant just because you can count.
I can also count. No, I want to hear. We're going to do it in just a few minutes. We're going to do it together.
Wait, what? I'm in a pool
on the show.
I can't do it.
You don't have to do the ice bath. We're going to do the breathing technique together.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm in a pool. I can't do it right now.
Okay.
I'm actually in ice right now. So
before we get there, what did you guys think about the podcast? Zach, go.
I really like this show, but I will say that it's hard to fully get it just based on the episode, on the one episode.
It's a slow burn. They go so deep.
Yes.
So there's
and
like 5 or 6 episodes for a thing.
Because I think they had 5 or so on this, because then they get into, okay, here's some of his claims. They're essentially, they seem like they're skeptics that want to explore things by diving headfirst into it. And so I forgot which episode you recommended, and I listened to more than I was supposed to. And honestly, it added to my experience. So it was hard for me to kind of fully wrap my mind around the one episode, but as like a group of things and as an entire premise of what they're doing, where they're not just like doing some research, they're doing the hands-on research that you need to understand it. I really liked it for that.
Isn't that their tagline is like, they do it so you don't have to, something like that?
Pretty much.
They did talk about Mckamey Manor a lot in this. I'm like, I don't think you should do that, guys.
No. That's not too far from you, Keith. You should go do it.
Mckamey Manor?
Have you heard about this?
Apparently he's not heard about it.
No, what is Mckamey Manor? I did listen to the episode, but I also zoned out a couple times.
No, they dropped that randomly, and I think it was during the
because they're doing
Max
I
Fun
do
Drive.
Apologize, they were doing their pledge drive thing, which again I've skipped all the way through that. I just do every time. But yeah, that was a giant chunk of these episodes. So sorry for that. But so Mckamey Manor is it $1 million you could win?
Yeah, I think it's $1 million.
If you get through this, it's not a haunted house. It's a scare the crap out of you. It's almost like
that's good.
I'm
not going to do that.
And
if
you make it through 8 hours, you win $1 million.
And they waterboard you, and they like tie you up. Yes, we have talked about this.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Not a chance.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah, no, we watched one of those YouTube videos. I was like, there's no way I'd do that.
It's actually disturbing. It's disturbing to watch those videos.
Yeah, they like pour dog food in your mouth.
It's
I'm having flashbacks now.
It's scary. Episode. It's scary looking stuff because you literally are watching someone be tortured till they quit.
So yeah, they shouldn't make him do that. They should do something that's slightly fun. Although
the other thing that they did was pretty gross because they drank their own piss last time when they.
And they were talking about doing something else.
Drinking other bodily fluids. Yeah, they're pretty intense. I'll say that for them. And then if you look at some of the stuff they do, as far as like what they're exploring, some of it is kind of intense what they're doing in general. Didn't you say they like joined Scientology at one point?
Yeah,
Kurt?
They became Scientologists. And it was funny because they had I listened to not that whole thing because I think that was like 10 or something episodes. It was long.
They have a 7-part about becoming an exorcist. They have like all these crazy. Actually, no, it's more than 7. It's 11. It's 11 episodes on becoming an exorcist. But they will fully dive in, and I do really like the premise, and I think what I'd like to do after listening to this, because this is my first time hearing this show, actually. I've heard of it because I've heard them talk about it on, I think maybe on a Bim Bam, but I haven't ever listened to like a whole arc, and I think that would be something I'd like to do. Just go find one of these fringe things they were exploring and go through the whole journey with them.
Yeah. And this wasn't my favorite arc that I've listened of theirs. It was interesting because of Wim Hof. There was kind of like this Venn diagram where I was reading the book. I also wanted to talk about Wim Hof. I wanted to do the method together because it's fun. And
so I had not heard of this show before. And so getting a chance to listen to it, I kind of prepped you guys before. This probably wasn't like my favorite podcast ever. I love the concept of what they're doing, of diving in. Like they walked on fire at one time in an episode, and they've done this ice bath thing and going through the whole Wim Hof thing. So I think definitely having this one in the it's like a 3-part thing. I think if people want to dive in on this, they should probably listen to all the 3 parts in a row. That lead up to this, because I think that'll kind of bring it a little bit more full circle than jumping into just one. However, I don't know, they go on and on about the stuff, and I think like they would really benefit from like shortening the episodes up a bit, like somehow tightening them up. Like I don't know if they doing it in segments, because it was just like after a while I was like, okay, All right, you're telling me about. Okay, let's go. Okay, all right, we are 40 minutes in. They have not talked about an ice bath yet. That's what the episode's about. I'm interested in hearing about it. Because I mean, I've considered doing an ice bath before. I mean, I've tried the cold shower thing, not along with a breathing technique or anything, but because I heard that was supposed to be good for like inflammation and stuff in your body and all. But I was like, man, it's not a tight, like condensed walkthrough of what they're doing. It's more of like a ramble and like a leisurely Sunday afternoon explaining to somebody what you just did this week.
It almost feels like a serialized documentary where they just, because it's so many episodes, they can just take their time talking about it.
Yeah.
And you do get the there's a little bit of the barrier of entry of like, feels like some inside jokes, feels like, their character coming out that you maybe not quite understand yet because you haven't listened to all their episodes. And I still, even after listening to a bunch of them, am not a avid enough listener to know those idiosyncrasies and the inside jokes and stuff like that.
I mean, almost every podcast has some sort of inside joke like that.
Yes.
I mean, the ones that show up on PopUpFilmCast, a lot of times it's something only Derek and I and like one other person in the world would know because there's 3 friends from high school and we're the only 3 people who actually would know the story anymore. And so like I'll say something, he'll just be like, okay, that's one for us. What about the listener? Type thing. So I mean, every show has that. So I get that, and you kind of have to catch up. If you listen to enough of it, suddenly it becomes second nature, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Or if they tell you if they reference the episode or whatever that inside joke comes from, then you go back and you check that one out. I just thought they were really, really long-winded in getting to, especially since there's 2 other episodes about Wim Hof.
I actually think it's a 5-episode.
Oh, all right. Well, I know like the ice bath one is part 3. So just to get to these 3 ones, there was one on him. The second one's on the breathing. And then the third one is on the ice bath. And then whatever they're doing after that. But there's a lot of talk about it just to get to the one segment that they're on for that one.
Yeah. And I did pick this one, not as much for the content as much as because it's when they actually did the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I picked it. But yes, it was more of a lot of buildup and not that much time on the actual ice bath because it's a 90-second ice bath.
Yeah, it's not a long thing.
Okay, so all right, so here's a question. So Kirk, you've done the cold shower thing. Have you ever done an ice bath though?
I have not done an ice bath. No, I haven't.
Have you ever done an ice bath?
No, I would, but it'd be cold.
The closest I have come to it was I've done the polar bear plunge.
Oh, did you?
On New Year's Day up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
That's pretty close.
Going in to the water, not a big deal. Coming, because you have to walk out into the water and then you have to go completely under. So I walked out and I just did the nesty plunge and fell in, hopped back up. I then ran faster than I've ever run before, getting out of the water. I realized that once you're back on land, that's when it's cold. Like it's like, because it's winter day. It was not very warm out that day. Everyone else sitting around with hot chocolate watching. And I was super duper cold. And the entire time leading in, my brother-in-law still makes fun of me because the whole time, like, as they're like, all right, everybody get ready, here we go. And I'm just standing behind him. I'm like, I am the center of the sun. I am the center of the sun. Because I was like, that's the warmest place I can think of. And that's all I'm going to think about, something really, really warm right now. And then boom, right into the water. And it's a crazy feeling and stuff. But it's horrible once you get out.
Did you feel invigorated though?
To find some warm clothes and a towel? Hell yeah. To go get some food?
Very motivated.
Yes.
You just said that you ran the fastest you've ever run in your life right after.
Yeah. See?
Well, maybe
Wim
second.
Hof.
There was one time the ice cream truck was coming through. But
okay.
Other than that, it's probably one of the faster times I've run, but only because I was like, I was like, man, this water's gonna be cold. I gotta hurry up and get back out. And I was like, man, I should take my time because now it's cold. And this is something that my brother-in-laws, like, they do this on like an annual basis. This is like, like one of them because depending who's home, one lives still in Milwaukee. The rest are all spread around. But if they're home, everyone is doing it. And the one has done it like every year for like the last 15 years or something.
I do think there's something just in general Because it's so interesting to me. Wim Hof became this it's like a cult of personality kind of.
But it is. He's a very passionate guy.
Yeah, and I think that is it. He's a charismatic guy. He's passionate. He talks about all his stuff. But like breathing techniques, that's existed for thousands of years and is proven to be beneficial. And I think cold therapy, same thing. There's science to back up cold therapy and for certain things. So it's like he just kind of hit this perfect intersection of all these things to become a huge deal and be on all of these kind of podcasts and huge in the media and everything, because literally we're talking about a guy who just really likes being cold and he's famous for it.
And I will say, like, reading his book and listening to him on a few things, he's a humble guy. He's very proud of the method. He's a humble guy, and he doesn't say like, oh, this is a super novel idea. I'm the first one to come up with it. So he definitely talks about, monks in the Himalayas that do a similar thing to be able to, go to really high heights and stuff like that. And, so I don't know. It's just funny because I think it's the cult of personality that kind of made him blow up so much because he's so passionate about it. And I will give him the benefit of the doubt for his book that all of the outlandish claims were like, he made sure that they were like letters from people that used it. And those were the claims. He's not saying that's what it'll do. Yeah. But this person wrote in saying that it makes him take much longer before he finishes when he's having sex with his wife. And it's been amazing for their sex life.
I wonder why he included that one.
Yeah. It says here, the physical benefits, more energy, natural anti-inflammatory. Well, yeah, if you soak in a lot of ice for a while, like it's gonna be anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
Better sleep. I'm imagining that has a lot to do with the breathing techniques and stuff like that. Increased sports performance and workout recovery. Again, like football players, they get in ice baths all the time after. Probably not just football players, but like even NBA guys, like they'll get into the ice baths right after, like they heal up their knees and everything like that. Arthritis relief, I assume that's probably has something to do with like anti-inflammatory as well. Lyme disease, post-treatment for Lyme disease syndrome. I don't know about that. Asthma management. Well, it's a breathing technique, obviously. Okay, hold on. He's got increased sports performance, further down athletic performance. Okay.
How many times do they talk about sports performance?
Are those different?
He's got them listed twice. It's like,
sports performance, athletic performance, doing sportsing.
Sportsing is definitely my favorite.
Boost energy. Obviously, you're getting better sleep. It's going to help, and healthy energy levels. I mean, a lot of these things seem like, again, like you said, like he's found like this perfect combination of a few different things. And then he adds on top of it, oh, yeah, by the way, like I'll sit in water for X amount of minutes and in ice for X amount of minutes, which I think that leads to this more like mythical character and why everyone wants to make, mythical figure that people want to like call him the Iceman, then jump in and be like, oh, hey, podcasters will jump in on the thing and other athletes and stuff because there's this extreme that he goes to. But it sounds like for the basics of this, it's breathing and some ice to heal.
Yeah, and I really feel like this might be another situation where the fandom is worse than the actual guy. So like I think that because there was one point in, I think it was the first episode that I didn't need to listen to, but did, where his kids were essentially saying like, we're glad he got famous because before that, he was the weird dude that would always be walking around without any clothes on.
Yeah.
He just liked doing it.
He would be barefoot in the Netherlands picking us up at like 0 degrees outside.
So I don't question like his sincerity about really liking to be cold. But it basically, because it became this thing with Tim Ferriss and with Joe Rogan, you kind of get this. I don't even know. You kind of get the zeitgeist following it a little bit, and then it gets kind of picked up by mainstream media, and then it gets ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't help that he's done like multiple like, what's the magician guy that likes to lock himself up and stuff?
David Blaine.
He did multiple things like David Blaine.
What the AF, David Blaine?
Like in New York City and stuff, where he'd be in a block of ice for hours or something to prove. And I think he went head to head with David Blaine and beat him like in one of these things.
I mean, look, if you guys need to promote PDS some more, this is what you do. Go put yourself in a block of ice and podcast live in New York. It'll help you.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
I mean, it
that
could
sounds
work.
like a good idea. I'm working on it.
What does that mean?
Cold showers. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, you guys set up to take cold showers in the middle of Times Square.
We're just gonna shoot each other with a water hose. Do you think that'd work?
In between segments of what you're talking about, you just do a whole live show right there, and then you hose each other down every now and then.
This is getting worse and worse.
I think people would be confused, but it would work. It's all about they're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. You just need somebody. You need one right person to talk about it. There's probably at least one
something to talk about.
One Instagram influencers out there. They're like, these two guys are telling us about a podcast that they found and then spraying each other down with cold water. It's crazy. And all of a sudden everyone picks up on it and boom.
I think you're onto something here. Kirk, get the water hose.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's do this breathing treatment. I'm excited.
Okay.
We're going to do it. I've got the app pulled up. Actually, I've got the recording of the app because you get 3 free breathing treatment things. And I recorded one so I can have as many as I want now.
It is ridiculous to me. I know that it doesn't matter that I say it, but stop making an app for every possible thing. I'm not going to get all these garbage apps.
Hey, have you guys ever seen the comedy special Bill Cosby himself?
I don't think so.
You guys are a little bit younger. It's hard to watch it now because he's a horrible person.
Yeah,
but
because Bill Cosby's the worst.
Yeah. But when you're telling me a breathing technique, all I can think of is there's a thing in there where like he does this he takes his wife because they're gonna have a kid and so they're going to the hospital and he's like, all right, honey, let's do the breathing. He's got this like push, this whole like weird breathing thing. And anytime somebody starts talking about breathing techniques, it's the first thing I think of.
Well, you're in luck because it's exactly like that. So get ready.
I'm just picturing Wim Hof doing that and then jumping in an ice bath.
We breathe.
Honestly, that would make me like it even more.
So I did like the app because he's the one that guides you through it, and I just love his encouragement while you're doing it. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I've got this recording. I've got this, and it's 40 breaths.
40 breaths.
At the 40th breath, you take a deep one and you hold it. So I want your predictions on how long you think you can hold your breath after doing the treatment, after doing the procedure, whatever method.
I don't know how long I can hold my breath without doing it. 20 seconds.
What about you, Keith? How long can you hold your breath? How long do you think you're going to be able to do it after doing the breathing technique?
After the breathing technique, 1 minute.
All right. I'm going to guess, only because I've done it a few times, I'm going to guess like 2 minutes, 40 seconds.
Oh, wow. I way undershot. If I have 20 seconds, I might need to go to a doctor.
So let's do this.
Hold on a second. I'm looking something up just to send you guys a clip also.
Yeah, I'm closing my water bottle so I don't drown.
Yes, please. Hold on to your chair if you pass out.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right. If you hear any loud noises.
Funk.
Also, guys, in the chat though, I dropped you the Bill Cosby thing so you guys can hear it later.
Okay, I see that. All right, you guys ready?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's do this.
Wait, what? Okay, wait. Do we have to know anything? Like, are we just breathing deeply?
No, there's sounds and you're just breathing along with it. There's visuals as well. You guys won't be able to see that, but you'll hear.
Can you describe the visuals to me?
It's like a pentagon or a hexagon that gets very small and very big, and then very small and very big.
Sounds good. Sounds relaxing.
With a number. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was already doing the thing. My bad.
Right, here we go.
All right.
Julian, letting go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Go with the flow.
You want us to breathe loudly as we do this? Or?
In, out. In, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circular. Breathe in, letting go. Just keep on going. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, breathe out, stress. Breathe in, letting go. Just keep on going. Nice, deep, circular breaths. Breathe in, letting go. Breathe in, breathe out. Slow with the flow of the breath. In, out, in, out. Into the chest and let go. Like a wave, make it simple. Breathe in, letting go. Just keep on going.
Right, 2 more. Then hold. 1 more.
Breath hold from now on. Let the body do what the body is capable of doing. Be aware of your heartbeat. Slow it down and just be this moment. Let that relaxation spread down to your toes, into your fingertips, to the base of your neck and head. You're doing fantastic. 1 minute. Feel. Become aware of your body.
Oh, I'm out. Well, I can tell that somebody's a professional Wim Hofer over here.
Your hands and feet are tingling, or you feel your body temperature.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Do you need
I'm
some
still holding my breath, but it stopped working.
You must think about your toes. Feel the oxygen flow from your toenails deep into your heart.
Yeah, I hit 45 seconds. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, you got 45 seconds. Zach, you got 1:18.
No, I thought I was going to hit. I thought I was going to hit a minute. Zach thought he was going to hit 20 seconds and pass out. So,
killed my record.
Better, yeah.
No, it feels good. You know, it feels great.
It's pretty fast breaths in. So the whole thing is like you take a deep breath in and just kind of let it out. It's not like you don't have to blow it out. It's not like long breath out or anything like that. I don't know.
It was weird. Each time that he was like, full circle type thing, like I felt that suddenly I was breathing slower. Like I was doing things, but it felt like I was like, oh, okay, now I'm kind of getting to a relaxed mode of like in, out. Because it's kind of almost like in, out, in, out. In, out, and then all of a sudden I was like, in, out. I was like, oh, okay. So, and then boom, right into that. He drops right into that. Now, does that go on like multiple times, Kirk, when you do that?
You're supposed, okay, so done? If you were going to do the method like to the T, you do those 40 sets 3 times in the morning, and then you take a quick cold shower. Like that's the way you're supposed to start your day. I don't think I ever did it that way.
Now that's what I'm curious in. What is the benefit of jumping in and taking a cold shower after doing a breathing exercise like that?
It honestly has nothing to do with the cold shower. The breathing has nothing to do with the cold shower at all. That's what is a little bit weird about the whole thing. It's just like a separate thing.
Because again, it's not like you're not doing straight cold shower. You're doing warm and then you're finishing with like a 30-second cold shower, or are you going straight cold? Yeah, that's what
I'm doing. And that's what they recommend doing. They recommend starting with 15 seconds, going up to 30 seconds, and maybe like a minute of a cold shower.
Yeah, that's
basically as cold as it goes.
Because I can understand for his other stuff that he does for like his Guinness records and everything, or for anybody doing the, like Carrie and Ross, going through and doing the whole thing and everything. I can see how like a good breathing technique, getting your body nice and calm and then getting into the ice bath is probably like a big deal, like for trying to set a record or something. But like for the overall like things that he's saying that his method does, I guess I'm having trouble seeing where the breathing and cold connect completely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, the breathing is a lot to do with very much oxygenating your body. It's this whole thing he talks about. And it reduces inflammation and all these other things. And that's on top of separate from the cold. And they talk about a lot of, you getting rid of all the CO2 from inside your body and all this other stuff. And I can see.
No, that's true. Well, they say that very rarely do we fully exhale. So even just taking a deep breath down to your diaphragm and fully putting the air out of you, it helps circulate that. So that's the thing. I do think there's something to this. I think there's something to this in kind of a wide variety of cultures for a really long time. It's just so interesting that it all came down to this one guy to make it like famous.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the whole thing. It's almost like a meditation, like that right there. Like if you were to do the way that, like where you get the visual of it and you just kind of hear it, you close your eyes if you want, you can do that. And it is very meditative and beneficial. It is a good way to start your day. I will say I did do it like one round of it in the shower a few mornings, and it did wake me up a lot. And I was really awake because I did the breathing and then I took a really cold shower and no shock. You were awakened. I was awake for the rest of the day really well.
Now, Kirk, what if you took a ice bath and pickle juice? Would that be even better?
I think that I could do
on
that
top of that
indefinitely. Maybe it's my favorite.
Pickle boy.
But yeah, so that is Oh No Ross and Carrie, the episode about Wim Hof, where they do the ice bath. Now, about the part where they did the ice bath, I thought it was hilarious that Carrie, because the coach says, just like if you've got to sit, you got to breathe or you got to like scream or anything, go ahead. And she was the first one that like just like got in the ice bath and just like cursed so loud over and over. And then apparently a lot of other people did it after her. But it was funny. There was audio of her.
She broke the ice, if you will.
Yeah, I think she said she opened the floodgates. I think is what their quote was, and they dive in on that, and yeah, she swears really quickly, and I liked because at first I was when they were getting to this I was like, man, first of all, this is like a thing. They're gonna take an ice bath, but this is an audio medium, and I was like, are they going to just explain how it was? And so I was really happy that they did drop in the audio for that.
Yeah. No, for sure. So that was the episode. I wanted to talk about the procedure or the method and do it with you guys. What did you guys think about it? The breathing method part.
I like the breathing method. Felt good. I feel oxygenated.
Yeah, I'm very oxygenated right now.
It is definitely different from like any kind of like normal meditation type breathing that you do where they're like, deep breath in, especially if you use like a guided meditation, it's like a much more calmer in and then back out.
Usually you want to take, hold your breath and then breathe out and then regular meditation.
They want you to feel it. Like there's one I used to do every now and then. It's like, all right, feel it hit, through your nose, feel it hit into your throat. And the next time was, all right, now past your throat, feel it into your lungs, or feel it all the way into your stomach type thing. And then also feeling like the muscles relaxing as it's going through, where this one is like in, out, in, out, in, out. Let's go. Hype, boom, 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 boom. And get going. And this one's like, instead of the crazy part is that it has probably a very similar effect as far as clearing people's heads and stuff like that.
Because the objective on this one, and I think there's another thing called, was it holistic breathing or something like that? That's another whole different thing. Yeah. But the whole objective is to get as much oxygen in you as fast as possible. So that's the objective, rather not as much in the meditation where you're focusing, you're trying to put your mind on the act of breathing.
Yeah, because I know I've tried meditation before and I have a limit of about 5 minutes and then I'm out.
I feel bad. I used to be better at it. I got pretty good at it. I was getting to like 30 minutes zoned out.
Yeah. I mean, I've mentioned this before on other shows stuff, but I am narcoleptic. And so I spend most of my day trying to stay awake in the first place. If you have me sit there and calmly, quietly breathe in like a nice, like quiet setting, like I tried doing it for a while. Like I would go, I'd find a separate room on lunch at the place I used. I still work there, but when we used to have to go to the office, I would go in. I'd sit in this one room. I'd bring my lunch. I'd bring something to read, but I would also try and do a little bit of meditation first. And like I had to make sure that like I also set an alarm to wake me up and tell me that lunch was over. Because like there's a couple times where I was like, it's way past lunchtime and I have to get back to my desk. I hope nobody heard me snoring or anything.
I meditated for 6 hours in the broom closet at work.
It never goes that long, but I've like 5 minutes of meditation, and that's like using a guided one that's supposed to walk me through the whole thing, and I sometimes don't make it to the end because I go right out. So this, I may look into trying this a little bit more. I don't mind the cold shower technique, especially if I know there's like a thing with it, but I may actually try the portions of this Wim Hof method.
No, it's all beneficial. Like there's no downside to it. That's the thing. It's not like weird vitamin that you got to take and hopefully it does what they say. And if it doesn't, then you might have like a smaller PP in 3 months. I don't know, but it's not like that.
Okay. All right. Huh.
Well,
I speak from experience.
We know the real downside.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
So I believe that our guest might have a recommendation for next week because we're moving into that time of year, friends. Our favorite time of year, the spooky time of year.
It's spooky month. No, that's definitely Kirk's favorite time of year is definitely Christmas. Don't let him lie to you.
I like spooky times as well. I'm sad Josh is not still on the show because I know he didn't like spooky times. He got scared about times.
And that's how you know that Keith is a listener because I actually said to Josh to Kirk the other day, I was like, I wish Josh was here so he could hate the entire month of October with us.
Yeah, Spooked just came out with some new episodes, and I've been listening to those. And that was a recommendation you guys had at one point in time. I love
Spooked.
Yeah. Look, I've listened to I would say probably 85% of your guys' episodes. Definitely all the Discovery Weekly type episodes and stuff like that. And I noticed like you guys haven't done a lot of like audio drama type things.
I love them, but it's kind of difficult to have a discussion about it. That's the main reason.
Mm-hmm.
It is difficult to have a discussion about.
You guys did that. What, Aaron Mahnke's 13 Days of?
Mm-hmm. Yep. By the way, that's got a new season coming out too.
Ooh, excellent! I really enjoyed that one as well. The recommendation I have here is it's Bad Vibes, and it's by Q Code, which I could go down a whole nother rabbit hole of recommending Q Code audio dramas to people. I really, really enjoy the shows that they do. This has Justin McElroy.
Yeah,
I know you guys are fans of.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. He plays Mr. Boogie, and he is there for the season that they put together already. He's there to kind of. He's not the one necessarily telling the story. He's kind of like the guy doing the intro and the outro. It's Mr.
like the
Boogie.
guy on the 13 Days of Halloween where he's like the host, like walking you through the house,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not the one telling the story. It's like that.
And then they do these crazy written up horror stories that I found were all pretty much like super creepy. They have 8 episodes out right now, and I enjoyed each and every one. I will say, episode 5, Bug, is very creepy, and also the last one that they did, Rarities. Was an excellent
That's the one
you
recommended a long time ago, and I did listen to it, and I wanted to hold it for this time of year, and I did love it. So I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, so I think you can go with that. But Rarities. But again, it's like they have 8 episodes, and they're only like, I don't think any of them go more than 25, 30 minutes. So if people are going to keep up with you guys and how you review it, they'll probably end up easily binging through all these.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping they're going to come back with more. So
yeah, because that was a long time ago they came out with that one. But I think it's probably just like 13 Days or Spooked, where I think it's like this time of year is when they do it.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that. I'm glad you guys are going to check that out.
Awesome! I'm excited to get into that mode, spooky mode. It's October. Yes.
Yep. I'm excited for it too.
Keith, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for your recommendation. And thank you for your time and friendship. Thank you for your friendship.
Yep. That most of all,
guys. I love this. I love getting
on the
show.
And remember,
there's always more to discover.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.